more and more premium publishers, today are considering programmatic because they think of the changes and demands that are happening on the buy side. Right? So in the old construct, the premium publisher sold the inventory, got a tag and trafficked it and said, hey, this is when you're going to serve. I think what happened was through RTB, the emergence of DSPs, buyers started to kind of see the value of being able to have a little more control on their side, to centralize their buy, control what ad to serve, to whom, at what frequency, and to also use sometimes their own first party or third party data. And that's just creating a lot of complexities and challenges for the supply side and even premium pubs. So you've got big premium pubs that are getting these buys from maybe major agency trading desks, but those agency trading desks are saying, listen, I'll buy a lot from you at a high CPM, but I want to have a little more decision making in terms of when I serve that. And so a traditional ad server is going to have a lot of problems with that. And a premium publisher is going to have a lot of problems with that because typically they were deciding when. Now, how do you balance kind of the needs of your direct sold team versus your programmatic team who's working with these agencies who want more control? And so that is actually forcing the changes on the supply side. It's not that they are wanting to do programmatic, to be quite honest. It's they're trying to meet the needs of their buy side. And if they can increase yield, increase CPM, increase sell-through by adopting these new technologies like the ones we offer, they're going to do that while satisfying the buy side. And that's just kind of the shift that's going on today. Now, it was predominantly the supply side, and what was being sold was kind of what's considered remnant, and they'll set up private marketplaces. But more and more what's being sold are guarantees, guaranteed packages. And to have both the buy side accommodate that and talk with the supply side, it's really important. That's what's happening right now, the kind of the joining of the two systems. How do you execute that buy on the buy side, on the TubeMogul side, and how do you execute it on the supply side? So costs do come down, but for the supply side, the yield does go up, and they don't create some sales cannibalization and kind of ultimately really hurt their sales team. We launched our platform over the summer, quietly launched it, and so our SSP platform. And prior to that, everyone of course knew us as SpotXchange, and we still are SpotXchange, of course, where we were providing access to a huge host of demand sources via our marketplace. So a publisher would come to us and say, yep, I've got some unsold inventory. I'm going to channel it through your marketplace. Yes, I need controls as far as blocking certain brands. I need pricing controls for pricing inventory based on where is the traffic coming from, or where is the actual inventory opportunity, impression opportunity, where is that in terms of site. That's what we've always provided. But what's kind of changed is that we've seen the supply side, they have all these challenges being able to deal with what I'm terming optionality. So you've got ad networks, you've got DSPs, you've got agency trading desks saying, I'll buy from you and I'll pay more, but I want the option. I want the optionality around that. And so being able to provide tools to be able to deal with all of the challenges that come along with that. For instance, when you, in a traditional ad server, in an environment where you're asking multiple partners, do you want this impression opportunity? If you're giving them an option in real time, whether or not they want it, well, you have to implement what's called a daisy chain. So as you know, video is a really heavy unit. And so when you have when you ask a buyer, do you want this? And maybe it's an ad network, maybe it's a DSP, and they come back and say, no thanks, you've burned a second or two. And if you do that too many times, you've created a lousy user experience. And certainly that's not the way to increase your yield. Maybe the last guy you asked was willing to pay you $9, and the first guy who actually you asked and accepted it paid $5. So our platform allows our publishers to be able to ask all parties that they have involved in this opportunity, do you want this? And bring it all back in milliseconds, and whoever wins we serve the ad. So you're serving the highest paid ad with no latency. TubeMogul is a great partner of ours. It's certainly evolved over time. They are, of course, what we call a DSP or an RTB bidder in our platform. We have about 25 of them. They are companies that have integrated in real time using our RTB API. So we surface an opportunity to them. We pass all of these bid parameters to them that tell them about the characteristics of that opportunity. They certainly have their own information about that opportunity, and they send us back, the highest bid that would win that auction that wants that opportunity. And if that happens to be the highest bid within our auction, they win. So obviously here you can see, TubeMogul has hundreds of buyers here who are partaking in TubeMogul University. And so those hundreds of buyers and thousands of buyers that they have are bidding on our open marketplace. It's evolving though, where these buyers now want to start working directly with more and more publishers, and because of the efficiencies that programmatic brings and in terms of the automation of buying, it frees up the buyers to be able to go talk directly to the supply side and say, let's strike a deal. But in the old construct, that takes a lot of time. Excel spreadsheets, lots of emails, lots of phone calls. In the new construct with programmatic, it automates the flow between the two. And therefore, I think what happens is the buy side can actually start to approach more and more publishers directly, and the publishers have an opportunity to actually sell their inventory and not just be mixed in this marketplace that sees 400 million auctions a day. So it's great how we're evolving with these guys, and we're kind of the yin and yang. They deal with the buy side and solve all of the problems on that side. We deal with the supply side and deal with all the problems on that side.